Welcome to the Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I am your host, Michelle Julian, your goddess guide, and I am here tonight with a special podcast with our co-authors of Dear Little Sister. We are just one of the 15 of us that have collaborated on this amazing project that we are all so passionate about and super excited to share. And we decided that we would collaborate together and share it on our individual platforms, podcasts, Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, all the places, because that's what collaborators do when you collaborate and connect, because why not? So I want to introduce to you Beauty. Beauty is one of the co-authors, and Beauty is actually in her car right now, quietly, and you might hear a chicken noise potentially in the background, but don't get upset because the chicken's okay. They're just doing their thing. So Beauty is a native woman from the island of Guam. She is a multi-award-winning entrepreneur, artist, advocate, international best-selling author, and student. She is a mummy, 2 sons of Daz and Starling. Beauty is the founder of Fund Fort and Beauty Co Labs. Alongside her business, she is a team leader and business mentor for the Female Entrepreneur Association International and Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training Trainer. That's a mouthful. I almost messed that up. Beauty supports all who work towards advancing ethics, education, environment, and entrepreneurship. Welcome, Beauty, to the Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I am so excited to hear all about your journey and how you found out about this collaboration. I'm going to give you the mic.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me, Michelle. It's been really fun. I was introduced to the collaboration by our co-guest, Dianne, actually, and we became friends through the Female Entrepreneur Association. And, she's just such an easy person to speak with. And when she presented the opportunity to me, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a go and check it out. And from the other collaboration, like book collaborations that I've been a part of, this is just like such a sweet spot of an investment that I couldn't pass it up. And I really stuck true to the theme because of myself being an older sister. I'm also the oldest granddaughter on my mother's side. So I've kind of always been everybody's big sister. And I also have a little sister, so I dedicated my chapter to her.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Thank you.
I would love to know, why did you decide to be part of this particular collaboration besides Dianne inviting you? Because Dianne invited me too. It's very hard sometimes as an entrepreneur, and I think the listeners love to hear this component, is how to be discerning in how you spend your precious time, because we're only on this planet Earth for a very short period of time, and we have a message, we have a mission. So why do you think you decided to be part of this collaboration versus another one?
Oh, sure. Well, like I mentioned before, we've I have been a part of other book collaborations, and this one just seemed so simple, first of all, and I love the time frame as well in regards to what we needed to contribute, just one chapter, about 5,000 words, and I love the time frame. So usually in other collaborations, we can go months to years doing research or meetings and things like that. But when I saw that we didn't really have to put too much time towards it, I was like, oh, this is going to be really fun. Other than that, yes, it's definitely aligned with my mission, and just continuing to help people and spread my experience, because for my topic on the chapter, I chose career and education. And from there, I kind of went the unpopular route on against the grain of the traditional, like, the traditional paths of getting a degree and doing things according to what other people are expecting of you. So I think it's going to be a really interesting read for those who are trying to figure out why they're not happy in their current professions or with their businesses or with any of the other aspects that are more so like kind of shoved upon them as expectations from their family, friends, or alter egos that they are still trying to work through.
So I'm just kind of curious because the audience is going to kind of want to know just a little hint of what your letter is about. The topic, the story, the lessons, so the
Sure.
readers can kind of like get excited, but don't give away too much information.
Yeah, I won't. I actually don't have any of the material on me because I'm in my car. So I don't have anything. So I'm gonna just go off of memory here. But like I mentioned earlier, it's based on career and education and the unpopular path, the unbeaten trail, I guess, if you will, because in my own sense, yes, I've been the older sister and the eldest grandchild, but that also puts me in a really weird position of being like not able to fit in with anybody. I was either too old or too old for the little kids and then too young for the adults. So I was always in
Mm.
my own little median, right? So
Mm.
I had to be a trailblazer in order to pretty much survive, and not just physically, but emotionally, financially. And doing my own thing kind of made me aware that no matter what I do, someone's gonna end up talking about it. Someone's gonna end up not being happy with wherever I'm going. And I'm like, a part of the letter is really just encouraging the reader and my little sister, um,
Mm.
to go with their heart based on what they want to do in life, but in the sense of career and education, to learn about things that they love versus the traditional recommendations on what the United States education system is, and global education system actually. So it's a really refreshing read for those who are just like, yes, this is what I needed to hear. It's actually
Mhm.
okay to do it. and
Mhm.
and not to fray away from traditional degrees, because I am still a student and I love business just for me, not because somebody's telling me to do it, not because this is the way to millions and billions, but it's because I love that profession. I love that industry. And when my company grows bigger, I want to be able to have the credentials to say, hey, you guys can't boot me out. I have all of the stuff. I have all the stuff here. I built this company because this is my dream, my vision. And I don't want to have somebody else with a higher degree come into a public company and boot me out saying we're more qualified. You know what I mean? So that's the reason behind my education and my path. But yes, the chapter is really refreshing. There's a lot of eye openers for people who might want to reconsider or pivot in their current fields. And yeah, it's going to be it's a really fun read as well. But I would recommend it for anybody either just starting college or those who are just about to graduate high school.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So just to kind of share with the audience, during the pandemic, I am sure you needed to innovate and pivot your business. And I think it would be great just to kind of share just a little story and how you basically did that with your life and your business, because we all know as entrepreneurs that our life and business can kind of commingle into our world. How you were able to kind of innovate and pivot during the pandemic.
Sure. Okay, so my baby business, that's the one that's been with me, oh my gosh, since high school. I've been planning it since 2000 and maybe 2006 or 7. And then I finally opened it up in 2013. And that's because I was still in high school. I didn't graduate until 2010. So when I opened up my business, it came from fraying away from a lot of that fear. And that fear felt familiar again when the pandemic hit, because my business is an events and fundraising agency, and we lost over 98% of revenue. So that was really challenging during the pandemic. But I think my attitudes towards life are just like, okay, what can we do? We got to go with the flow and live, laugh, and learn about it. So I brainstormed with my team and my family, and I was like, you know what? I think it's just the time to go and move things online, because a lot of my training and my events coordination was a lot of hand holding with my clients. So when we made the move to do online courses and online opportunities, it was really challenging for me because I love things to be face to face, and because there's just a different energy about it. You can read everyone's energy in the room. You have an overall scope of all the people your students who are getting the trainings done, and you don't necessarily have that all the time with Zoom meetings or Skype meetings or Facebook lives or any type of social media live. You don't get to you don't get to read the room, basically. And when I found out that, like, it's not my responsibility whether a student in my online courses succeed or not, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That takes off a lot of pressure. So that's where we kind of went with our events agency. And then when that pivot happened, I also was like, you know what, this is ample time to really go back into my creative side and start doing more artwork, start doing more authorship, more advocacy for behavioral health, mental health, and spirituality. And really, like I mentioned in my chapter, to follow your heart and go with what your intuition's guiding you, even if you're not too sure what that is. The pandemic really allotted a lot of time to explore that type of healing and to explore the different scopes of other types of education that we don't necessarily have. So yeah, it's been really fun. And I've also just been helping a lot of other entrepreneurs through the Female Entrepreneur Association, and then with the Assist program that I'm a trainer for. We aren't doing those in person, but we definitely had resources online for those who may have suicidal thoughts and those who needed to continue their training. So it's been a real blessing. And, I'm glad that everyone in my family is still safe. But of course, COVID came into the household. It took about a month to get through, and that was one of the more challenging parts. But overall, it's been a really great lesson to learn.
Absolutely. Huge lesson, because as goddesses, we want to stay sovereign with
Right.
our own wisdom but it's important for us to also share what it is that we've learned from our struggle, because it's so important to know that you have that intuition and the power to tap into that. And it sounds like to me, with your leadership, you're working on self-mastery and connecting the emotional and physical component of the body so you can develop your own spiritual awakening. And I think that's super powerful. And I think, I feel honored to be part of this co-author group, because this is my first actual book that I am writing, even though it's not a whole book, it's a story. So I feel honored to be part of this. And I want you to know that I'm looking forward to getting to know you better as we all share this amazing project. In the next couple of days, we're meeting later tonight, and we'll learn more about that. And I also want to introduce our other co-author, Dianne Shelton. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm super excited about this book and just hearing Beauty's story. There's some stuff that I didn't even know. So thank you for sharing that, Beauty. And I'm excited to hear about Michelle's story as well.
Yes. We all have so many stories to tell. And that's the whole point of writing is, really sharing your story, even though you've heard your own story 1,000 times, or you've kind of like attached to your story in a way. It's really, really transformational to start taking your story from pen to paper. And that's what I found, is that I was transforming letter by letter, word by word, and having that opportunity to really contemplate and reflect on what it is that I really want to share to the little sister. So before I get into my own journey, I want to talk about Dianne and introduce Dianne to the group. I've got so much wisdom here for Dianne Shelton. She's full of wisdom. Let's just put it that way. She's a powerhouse. If you go to her website, she actually looks like she's been on TV, like Fox News or something. I think that's just the next place where you're going. Dianne Shelton is a former Fortune 500 management consultant turned award-winning certified business coach and system strategist, and the founder of Passion Breakthrough. Speaking of that, Dianne and we met online because she had joined a Facebook group that did business templates, and she did her business template for the Passion Breakthrough. And that's how her and I connected. And that has to be at least 3 or 4 years ago. It wasn't like yesterday. And we're still friends, and we're still connecting. We're still collaborating on lots of things. And we're going to continue. She's a Filipina American who is on a mission to help female entrepreneurs launch and scale their thriving online business. Clients hire Dianne for her ability to implement practical strategies and simple systems so they can get more sales with ease. I love that. I don't want to work hard for my sales. I want it to be easy and flow, and, just like, it's almost like you're not even working, right? So Dianne is also a published author, speaker, and podcast host. She has her own podcast as well, which I'm sure she'll be interviewing us at a later day on her podcast. I know there's another woman that's also a co-author. Her name is Kay. Is it Kay? Yes, right? Yes. She is going to be interviewing us as well, because that's what goddesses do, right? We collaborate together. So, Dianne, why did you choose to be part of this collaboration? Because I know you're discerning. Tell us.
I think for me, it was more like the stars aligned, to be honest, because I've always wanted to do publishing a book or something like that, but I know I was intimidated with writing a whole book on my own to start with. So I wanted to be, because Beauty, I know I've seen your stuff everywhere in terms of like being published as authors, and I'm just like, oh, I want to be doing that as well. So it was actually Beauty that also partly inspired me to be part of this collaboration. So because that thought has been planted, seeded into my brain, I have been on a lookout for a good collaboration. And just one day I was looking through Facebook and I saw a post from Denise, who is our producer of this collaboration, about this book called Letters to My Little Sister. And it's just an aha moment for me where it's just like, I need to be part of that collaboration because I want to be a published author, and also because I want to inspire my little sister and just spread wisdom to all of our soul sisters around the world as well. So that is why I chose to be there. And because I know how amazing this collaboration opportunity was, that's where it's just like, hey, it shouldn't just be me having stories. I know there's a lot of people out there that have amazing stories too. So that's how I reached out to you guys and had you be part of it too.
I know, I love that you reached out to me. You always consider me to be part of whatever you potentially are interested in. I really appreciate that. And I was so glad that I actually had the time to do this. It worked out, like you said, kind of like divine timing, because I had that space, because this project was very quick. We got together literally like a month and a half ago, and then now it's going to be published October 10th. That to me is mind-blowing. I can't even believe that we pulled it off. So, and it's because we did it together as a team. And I really think that's what I am so excited about, being on my own podcast to talk about this, that as women, if we collectively can rise together and really support each other in a way that we don't feel like we're competing. Because here we are, we're all writing, we're all writers, right? I mean, I could easily be like, oh no, I'm a better writer than her, I'm going to do it myself. You know, I mean, you could take that attitude, or like, oh, I don't like this, I'm going to do it this way. But you know what? If you're collaborating, you need to learn that there's lots of different ways to do things. And I know myself that, you know, as an entrepreneur, sometimes it can get very lonely and overwhelming. So being part of something that's kind of bigger than yourself helps you kind of raise your own consciousness and awareness to how you are really being now part of the greater good, because it's not just about you and your little story that you are all excited about. It's about all the other stories that are out there that you're sharing, right? So I'd love to know if you would be okay to share like just like a little hint about the story that you wrote, Dianne, so the readers can be, you know, excited to get this book.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love the fact that, you know, you guys are all my friends because we are on the same wavelength about these things. So my story, similar to Beauty's, but different because I'm talking about my story from the Philippines, is talking about, you know, like how for me, like when I had to choose my career path. And like, I started out with a computer science background, but it was like such a long story for me to decide even to go with my technical schooling. Before that, it's just like all of these voices around me and inside of me that's just like, okay, like I'm so confused. There's no black book or there's no clear direction on which one to choose for me. So right now, my sister is also at that point in her life, and I wanted to kind of let her know, like, hey, you're not alone in this. It's okay to make a decision today, and maybe in the future it's not something for you anyway. And that's exactly what I did, right? I went from a corporate background into going after my own freedom-based lifestyle and my own business. And so to some people, they might think like, what's wrong with you? Why would you throw away that successful career, all that money towards your education, just to try to risk it all? But that's what the beauty of life is, right? Is that we are our own boss, and we can decide that for ourselves and what's best for us. So that's a little bit, and like I said, it's also a story about my life in the Philippines a little bit. So that those two things between my story and then the lessons learned are the things that I will share with you at this point in time.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So tell the audience, or share with the audience, how you, with your business, how you innovated and pivoted during the pandemic. And you can just share, like, a little short story and how you did that. You don't have to go into any length, because we all know that we have like a constraint with time, and it's already 7:21. So I really want you to share though. So
yeah, thank you for asking. So I know the pandemic has been hard on all of us. I know it's been harder on some people than others. And so I feel really blessed that, like for me, most of my pivot happened because of my business, and also like having to put myself in my office where I am right now. So originally, when I decided to go after my business, I wanted to travel the world, right? To be like, wherever there's Wi-Fi, that's where I'm going to be, mostly near a beach, which is where Beauty is at. And I'm super jealous. But anywhere in the world that has Wi-Fi, and be able to just work on my laptop and talk to people all over the world. And so when I first started my business, I wanted to do passion breakthrough, have people pursue their passion and make a breakthrough into turning that into a profitable business. And as I got into as everyone got into pandemic, everyone's just started to think about, okay, like I'm stuck at home, what can I do? And some people started their own businesses as well. However, what I found is that, as women, we don't go start our own online businesses because we want to fight with tech. I love fighting with tech, but some people are just like, okay, like I want to start an online business. I want to help so many people, and tech is getting in the way of that. So that's when I decided during the pandemic that I'm going to like help people, not only for the one-on-one business coaching of things to get them with the strategy and those types of things, but also I pivoted to have a done for you like sales system set up so that it's really sales focused, and get them going on their merry way to get more people and help more people. Oh.
I love that you do that. And I just love that you are passionate about it. And so I would love for the audience to know, like, how do they get a hold of you in reference to working with you, or just like learning more about what you do?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So for me, I am everywhere at Passion Breakthrough. So Instagram and Facebook and those different places. And then my website is just passionbreakthrough.com. So that's where you can find about my offers. You can find my picture that makes me look like I'm in a TV that Michelle's talking about, and the different ways. Like if you want to just hop on a call with me and just talk through some things, that's something that I do too, and I offer at this point in time. So it's definitely free for you to just jump on a call if you're feeling stuck and just need a business bestie.
And Beauty, you need to share your link so people can get to know you as well.
Sure. I'm also everywhere. You could just type up my name, and I do a lot better on my personals. So on Facebook, it's just Beauty, and that's spelled Beaudy, and that's pretty much everywhere as well. And usually on all my socials, I'll have my Fun Forte business linked there, as well as the beauty collabs and all the other links that I'm a part of. So those are all accessible through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Pinterest, all the good stuff, LinkedIn.
Wow, you're on all the things. That's
Yes.
fantastic. So we will be putting all the links that you want people to check you out. It's going to be in the show notes at the bottom, and there's going to be your little mini bio at the bottom, and same with Dianne. And just so everyone will be able to read and watch and listen to this podcast and learn all about you guys. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom tonight. And I'm just going to share very quickly, because we literally have like 5 minutes left of the podcast, which is fine, because I'm the host, right? And I can always fill in the blanks if there's a blank there. So for me, the purpose for me to be part of this was being and becoming an author. It's been on my bucket list to write a book. The universe is always listening to what our desires are. And I felt blessed with this opportunity to co-author with these 15 other writers. And the fact that the project was letters to my little sister just resonated with me on a very deep level. Even surprisingly, as I started to write, I realized that I was almost kind of writing to my younger self. And it really wasn't my initial thought process as I started to write this. And the irony is the irony of this writing is that I was never really going to feel ready to write, right? Like we're always waiting to feel ready. And it's a feeling that was deep inside of me that I just can't hide. My soul was saying, you must do this, you must do this. And then my other part, my terrified part, was like frustrated because my soul kept saying in a loud voice, you got this, you got this. So I just know that these are these feelings that we as human beings are always going to have when we're stretching ourselves. And I know that when you read this book, when you get this book, you will learn that your pain is your power, and that you will basically see the highest sense of your own goddess self through reading these stories. And I just know that it's going to be transformational for you. And for me, I just know that I'm so honored to be part of this project because, like I said, I've always wanted to write a book, and I started writing my book last year and the year before, and I kept putting it down. But now I'm in this flow and I'm back to writing my own book, which I'm super excited about. And so this is just kind of what can happen when you say yes to the right project. And I just feel really, really honored and excited. And I really want to give the mic back to Beauty just to share her last thoughts of what she'd like the audience to know about this project that she decided to do.
Sure thing. And I'll just go ahead and leave off with, it's a really powerful thing to collaborate with others. So if you are inspired by listening to the podcast and wanting to do a podcast of your own, or starting your own business, or being an author as well, doing artwork, whatever it is that you're inspired to do, you will get it done faster if you have the help of a mentor, a coach, or somebody who has done it before. And that's pretty much the fastest way to go. If you want to take your time and, put all your love and energy into it, you can definitely do it by yourself, but it will be a long process. Things won't get done until you have someone nudge you along. But if you're good at that by doing those things by yourself, then of course, do your own thing. But people, when people get together, especially women, we create magic, and that's one of my favorite things about collaborating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because really, as goddesses, always trying to share our wisdom, we know that, it's within reach, but when you collaborate with other people, they're taking you on the journey, like on a level that, like you explained, is like, it's like a little bit faster. It's a little scary, but you know that that person's holding that container for you, ahead of you. And I'm sure Dianne agrees. So Dianne, give us your last thoughts, because you have to go, you have a call.
Yes, it's the joy of being busy for good reasons, right? And then I know the three of us will be chatting with the other authors here in a half an hour as well. So I'm really excited about that meet and greet as well. So I just want to echo what Beauty said in terms of like, go fast and do it more fun with other people, with your business besties. Don't kind of hog everything on you, like try to do everything on your own. That's just exhausting. And at the end of the day, like you didn't really decide to go for what you want just so you can, like be exhausted at the end of the day and not have fun with it. And sure, along the way, you might meet some people that are either takers, not a good fit for you or anything like that, but that's also going to help you grow and learn lessons along the way. So take imperfect actions and keep going for what you want along with your business besties. So that is my tip for you today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And everyone that's listening, I'm sure you have enjoyed this, and you will get all of their links so you can find out more about them. And we'll probably even have the link to the ebook attached to this podcast. I think we will. I don't really know the process, but I'm learning step by step and anxiously. And just understand that even though you're anxious, even though you're afraid, that you can do it. And it's so much easier to do it with other people. So remember, your activation is my activation. Bye for now.